Hey guys and gals, I got another one for you today. Today I am going to feature every class of tanks and kind of go through pluses and minuses of each one. And this is my 500 subscriber video. Thank you so much for all your support. I appreciate it. Really appreciate it if you've been around since when I first started the channel and made it from my phone recordings. Went back and watched a couple of those. Those are pretty cringy. But alright, we're going to jump right in. So today I got lucky. I wanted to try to feature some games of each class. And I jumped into each one, had 5 games, and they were all pretty good. I won all 5, so I got footage for all 5 classes in 5 games. Alright, so we start out Scallop. Showing off my driving skills. Pretty good stuff there. While I was babbling, I made a little run around the city. The main thing that I try to do when I'm in a scout is try to get intel for the team. Whether they use it or not is really up to them, but I like to get early vision. It is aggressive lines that I take generally to try to get as much intel as possible. We push the TD off the hill here. And we're heading up to their sniper hill. What I'm looking for is Artie. Artie's not the biggest threat in this match, but whenever you can get rid of Artie early, it's good news. And we keep on moving. Take the focus off my team. I can see their scouts are starting to flex, but I have mediums that are starting to pincert as well. So 3 of their tanks came back to defend. That means there are 3 tanks plus their 2 mediums, one being AFK, and their TD back there. They have a lot of tanks back on their base. So I flex back in knowing that my 2 mediums are pushing on their medium tank, but I don't want to commit so far as to where the scouts can jump me. So I take this location, dump my clip. Now I can get out of there safely. And one of my mediums got out of there, the other one died. We got a lot of tanks in the north. Feeling pretty good right now. Feel like it's just going to be a cleanup mode here. Kill the E4, and I don't realize that we have a big embankment there. So we end up losing that game, or not losing that game. I end up killing myself in that game. And there's a lot of damage still on the table for me to potentially get, so that was kind of a heartbreaker. But I guess I got to brush up on my driving skills. I preferred the 13105. It's one of my favorite scouts. The vision camo is great. The burst damage is awesome. The gun handling is pretty atrocious, so you have to get used to it. And it's not everybody's cup of tea, I understand that. But negatives for scouts is taking the aggressive lines and dying right away. If I get hit and I'm not dead, but I have just a margin of my health left, I will try to be an impact at the end of the game, keep what hit points I have, and just snipe for mid game. But if I don't lose any of my hit points, then I like to keep being aggressive, take aggressive lines, and get more intel for the team. Now we're going to jump into the medium. Medium tanks, to me, are really annoying when they don't get intel, they don't support the heavy tanks if they're pushing, they don't flank, they don't do things that the mediums are supposed to do. So since these 2 mediums are pushing in, I decide that I'm going to push in on this 50B as well. We can put them in a pincer maneuver. We have an excellent crew on my Object 430, so I can spot those guys, they can't spot me. My heavies take mid, and then I finally just realize, you know what, we gotta go. It's time to go, let's go. The scout went in right away, but since it was a 50B, I didn't feel like if I took any shots from the one line, if I went heads up with 50B, one scout on my team, it wasn't going to be too pretty. So we push in, knowing that the rest of our sorry, not the rest of our team. 2 mediums were pushing in the other side. 30B all-ins us. We bounce a shell off, I think, his turret there, which is pretty tragic. But we load a shell, we get him dead. 50B rams us. Looks like the 50B is reloading. Turn around, get one shot into him, and then try to use him as cover because there's a super conk over. Push around the F line, but I wasn't too worried about the super conk because we have tanks on the 1 line, and I felt like they could just handle them. We will go to get shots into this 113. We're not going to find it before it dies. It's 4-2. We own a lot of the map. It's looking really good for us. So what I do here, well, I got early intel. Scout kind of helped get intel as well. I flanked, so I pushed into the EF line when I knew my team was going to be distracting them. And even though it was almost the end for me, I could still brawl as well. So mediums, you don't really want to get into a brawling situation unless you know your team is going to help you. And in pub matches, it is just hard to know when that is going to happen. But I gambled here. I figured even if they did kill me, I think, you know, the ground, taking that part of the map was important to winning the game. So it was worth it. And you can see we're in a 12-2 right now. We take out the T-57 Heavy. And just a scout left. Looking for a shot here. Don't get it. Alright, so we get to end game. 3,000 damage, 4,000 assist. Beautiful game in the Object 430. And we move along to the heavy tank. So I picked Panzer 7 here. I figured, you know, if I'm going to feature a heavy tank, I want to feature one with good armor. And the Panzer 7 does have some weak points. I'd like to call it the German T110E5. Actually, I don't play this tank too often anymore. When I first got it, I fell in love with it. I still think it's a strong tank. I just think that E5 and the AMX 54 is a better tank, in my opinion, just because they have a little bit better mobility in their heavy tanks with formidable armor, but they still have weak points like the Panzer 7. So our Ram Panzer takes an aggressive line. I think he probably didn't need to send it into A6. He could have ran along the ridge line, got the vision, and still stayed alive. But he sent it into their dip, so he got taken out. Alright, so 5120 comes over. I know I have a Death Star behind me. He takes him out. Already took out the Bat Chat that was up here, Tier 9 Bat. I'm just looking for shots. I don't really want to push over because the Death Star won't be able to help me unless they push over. So I'm going to try to force them into a position where they have to come out to get me. We missed a shot on the E4, but it actually worked in our favor because he's seeing that we missed him, so he decides to try to take advantage of that. I know the E4 is reloading, so I get a shot in the Kranwagen, and then I want to get my armor over towards the E4. And the Conqueror dies. Break our track on there, that's unfortunate. And I don't aim that shot, so let me see if I pay for it here. E4 doesn't really aim his shot, or he doesn't know where to shoot me, so he's down. And I can tell this Kranwagen's reloading. And we take the E4. Kranwagen's on 300. So we're going to push up on him, give him a little face hug. Then we're going to back up to line up our shot. But I don't want him to outflank us here. So I start pushing up forward, but I load my gun in time to take him out. We do get hit by Artie. Now, heavy tanks, what's the downfall of a heavy tank? Well, when heavy tanks don't push to use their armor and hit points to get through flanks or get major pieces of the map, to me that's the most irritating thing. When you're in a heavy tank, use your armor, use your hit points, push forward. Now, I know there are some tanks that are more heavyums, and they can't push a flank. like the Panzer VII can, but they can definitely be support tanks, so they should be up in the choke, trying to win the choke as best as possible. The Conqueror gun carriage hits me for like the third time, takes my gunner, or breaks my gun. Hopefully we can get a shot on him here. $3,600 damage, 1,000 assists, so we take top dog there. And the key point is, just because you're in a heavy tank doesn't mean you need to push out the flank. We didn't push the flank there. We just held because we were short-handed. So I stayed there, waited for them to make the plays, used my teammates around me to utilize, the map location and do a better job there. All right, now we are in the class that I prefer not to play. It's the second to last, and I picked the Foch 155 for a reason. Reason being that it isn't the strongest tier 10 tank destroyer, and I just really want to make my point of you can push forward in your tank destroyers, and I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons why teams win. Whoever's tank destroyers are active on the front line have a huge advantage compared to their team with the tank destroyer sitting in the way back, right? Our track absorbs the shell from the IS-7. We try to get a shot into that tank, but our 705A takes down the E50M, and now I'm just going to try to push in to cover myself from that Leopard, but also get shots into the IS-7. The IS-7 pulls over. We get a fire going on him, which is really nice. I don't have the 6-pack autoloader. I went with the 3. I really love the alpha damage on this thing, even though the reload's pretty tragic. If you can get it to work for you, I feel like this is the more entertaining / fun gun, whereas the 6-pack autoloader is really probably just the best overall gun on this tank. The tank destroyers, whether they don't get in position right away or everything's spotted and they don't react to push up to help out, that's just really irritating that tank destroyers are so unaware of what's going on. Now, that's not all of them. There's definitely some excellent tank destroyer players out there, and it is great to have them on your team. It's just like a sniping heavy. You don't want that on your team. You want the guys that are going to participate. We are crushing them 11-3. I don't really want to drive out in the field in case I get caught out and get my side blown off. This thing does not have great side armor. So we go to flank the E5. We don't fully aim that shot, and when you have the big gun on the Foch 155, you're going to pay for that really long reload. Try to get the track fixed, but I didn't realize my radio was dead. However, we get it on in time to slap the 50B. There's just 2 tanks left. So we're pushing forward. Our whole team is there, hoping we can get some shots, but I'm not 100% sure that's going to happen. If I were the red team, I'd duck into K1. I mean, I wouldn't be there in the first place, but since that's where they ended up, get back to K1 and see what you can do for your team. Coming back out of this hole is going to be pretty impossible, especially with the ship barn with no DPM and 400 hit points, and take that back, he is already dead. So we just got the medium, pushing in on him. 50B takes him down, and that will be game over. I didn't encounter any of their tank destroyers on the front line. I pushed it hard. Now, do I always push that hard when I'm in my tank destroyer? No, I generally support my team in the push. However, I knew we had a lot of players there, so if I pushed, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Even if they didn't push, I felt like we were going to lose. Alright, so now we're in Artie, Westfield. Generally, I like to support the guys that are going to head to the west field up in the northwest. However, most of our team starts on the K3 line, so they are going to go defend it from that position. Which, to be honest, it's a good defensive location, so I'm not going to blame them. But I send a message out that I'm falling back because my pet peeve for artillery is when Artie just stays in the same position at the beginning that he got into, and then he'll say no shot, looking for target, things like that. Just like annoying things that Arties do. Like my 4043s hasn't really moved much from F3, or I'm sorry, K3. Alright, we got a waffle here. Let's see if we can hit him with an HE. Sure enough, we do. Looks like he took some damage beforehand. But I'm just going to keep moving. One of the things is, like, I don't really want to be in the same position the whole time in artillery. If I know my team pushed forward, I'm going to go over there, open up a new angle, and that really causes chaos for people because they think they're hiding from Artie, and then you move, and you hit them there, and then they're like, where the heck is this Artie coming from? Alright, so I feel like we got 9-0 handled. I'm going to try to help with the hill. And I'd like to hit that Conqueror or the 50B. Unfortunately, I miss, but I did hit a tank, so I'm not sure exactly what we hit. And it doesn't look like we hit the Conqueror, the E50, because obviously the E50 is full health, and it looks like the Conqueror didn't lose any health either. So we hit a tank, I'm not sure which one, but hopefully it was a good hit. You anticipate the 50 to push forward, just kind of the way he stopped. I figured he was going to drive forward. Sure enough, he does. And my shell flies true. I'm not a big Artie player, but I feel like I can carry my own and give good advice. Now this Badger and some other tanks have kept my team from moving down the 0 line, so I definitely want to help them with this Badger. Looks like the other Artie's looking at him. Another thing, really help out your team is just communicate what you're doing in artillery. So I'm pinging the Badger, I'm telling them my reloads, just getting them good information on how to, or on what I'm doing. That way, you know, if they have anticipations, they can tell me to focus another target. But really all I want to do is just keep moving around the map, and either that's you physically moving or that is just you making sure that you're looking at both flanks. So what I pulled up now is the 5 games that I played today. You know, I think that was the only games that I played. We went Super Uni in 4 of them. 13-105, we went blue. And really, there's a lot of damage to be had with the 13-105 game. So had we stayed alive there and not committed suicide, we probably would have had a much better game. But I won't complain about a blue game for sure. Get the end game stats here. 2300, no assist really. And actually we hit the Death Star for 1,000 damage. So we ended up with 3,300 actually. Now this is a funny clip that I just wanted to show you guys. If you're still around listening to this whole video. So this was the last red tank, and made the joke that he was playing Artie safe, and then our batch at 155.58 drove up and said, yeah, you're not going to play Artie safe, bud. I got you. Alright, hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Once again, I can't thank you enough for the support that you guys give me for the 500 subscribers. You are awesome. Take care, and I'm going to try to do daily videos from now on, but we'll see how that goes.